6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday to look at Danny's even got her safety glasses on. She's got her safety glasses because she knows it's about to get real serious in here on this Figure It Out Friday. Look at that. I don't know where she's going, but it's something serious. I could tell when you're wearing those. Good morning, everybody. Good morning to you all. My name is Coach Brock Zevan, life coach, business coach, real estate coach, and a DAD. And it is a Figure It Out Friday. Nicole, what up, Justine? Hannah's here. I'm excited. I'll be with Hannah's team later today, speaking with her real estate group. Excited to have that. Guys, we got a show for you today like no other. I'm going to close my mouth. I'm not going to talk too much because you know how I like to just run with the microphone over here. But I'm excited about today on this Figured Out Friday because as I shared with you, I want you to tell me where you're reaching out from this morning. Tell us where you're zooming in from. If you could be on video today, we want to see some smiling faces. Tell us where you're from today, because to get these three women in all different parts of the country, because they're all different time zones. So tell us what time zone you're in too, because Rebecca, she shifted over to the West Coast. She wanted us to get a little taste to see what it's like over there, getting a little extra early. I know Amberly's early too. Kendra, I think she's in Florida, but tell us where you're calling us from. I'm fortunate to be on the East Coast time, so you know it's way 8:15 over here. So, but these three ladies are speaking to us today. They're going to be sharing figured out moments. They're going to be leaning into us today, and just so very blessed and thankful to have them in my life, to be able to have different stories with each one of them, and how I've been able to just have conversations with them. They've helped me, and they're going to help us today. They're going to share some messages today. They're going to share a little bit about being in Nashville and what that's going to look like, some of their conversations they are going to be having with us, as well as over the next several weeks, because they are a part of our family, and I'm just so very blessed and thankful to have that. So without further ado, let me check the chat to see if we got anybody crazy over here. What do we got? Statesville, Albemarle, Atlanta, South Kakalaka. But we got them all over the place, ladies. So they all have their own introduction. They all have everything that they need. And so I'm going to take the microphone and I'm going to share it with Kendra. And I'm like, Kendra, lead us down this path with these wonderful women. So Kendra, good morning to you, Kendra. How are you?
I'm great. I am actually in Tennessee this week, headed to Chicago. So some nice fall temperatures here. So I'm going to jump in. I know the time is limited, and both of these ladies, I'm going to pose a question to both of them, which is their superpower. I know what their superpower is because I've got to know both of them. Amberly is actually my coach right now and dear friend. But I know her superpower is connection to people. And having just spent a few days with her in Dallas, the people that she surrounds herself with, and the connection that you feel when you leave her is, I'm better for the time I get with her, right? And not everybody has that superpower, but it is mandatory to figure out how to like people and people to like you in sales. So I want to give Amberly a few minutes to let her share, like, what's her connection with people? How did she get there? And how do we continue to grow our relationships based on what she does to make hers better? So Amberly, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Kendra, I just love you, and it was so great to see you. But I have to say, yes, connection is so important in business and in life. And I was so grateful to have so many people fly over. I do an annual retreat, and Kendra came over. And the importance of connection in this scenario was I ended up getting some kidney stones that caused an infection. And in the middle of my retreat, had to go to the hospital. And Kendra, I have to brag on you a little bit. She goes, "What can I do? I'll get up and speak. And so because I have this community and the connection, these women that I coach, the women in the mastermind, Kendra got up and led the most amazing talk that everybody loved. And so it's important with those connections. Like, I don't know what I would have done being rushed off to the hospital if I didn't have these connections. So, Kendra, thank you for saving the day. I see so many friends that I know here. Christina, Brock, thanks for having us here today. I really feel like, somebody asked me what the definition of success was to me. And I feel like the definition of success for me is getting to do the things I love with the people that I love. And I think part of that is where I really feel fulfilled is when I can be of service to others and their success. For a long time, I tried to do it alone and it didn't work. When I was growing up, it was, I'd asked for help and didn't get it. And so I thought, well, I just have to do it all myself. I can't ask for help. And what I've learned, especially over this past weekend, when I asked for help and I asked for prayer, is that vulnerability actually is your superpower. When you can be vulnerable, that connects you even more. I believe as a leader, so many leaders don't want to show their vulnerability or their weakness or ask for help. But you know what? I'm in the trenches with my team, with my people. And when we can all help each other, I feel like that's where that connection grows. And I would just suggest, like Kendra asked, like, how do you build those connections? Well, I don't ever ask somebody to give me something when I'm meeting them. I always ask them questions, and I genuinely want to know how can I serve and who can I connect them with. So my wheels are always turning when I meet someone on how can I connect them, even with Brock for his event that's coming up in Nashville that's going to be so amazing. I was like, Brock, who can I connect you with? Are there any other speakers that I can connect you with? And I think that's how you build your community. That's how you build more connections, is just seeing how you can be of service. So
I
I'll
love
stop
that.
rambling on and give
No,
somebody
no,
else a
no.
chance.
I love that, but I want a quick follow up because some of you on here may be saying, well, that sounds great, but how did she get over the fear of, and we all have it, fear if I give my connections away, will I lose them? Or fear of trusting that when I am vulnerable, they're not going to shun me. Listen, we all have those fears. How do you release those? Like, where, if I'm, calling on a big client, I'm like, what if I give them everything and then they take it and run with it and I get cut out of the deal? Or just any of that fear. How do you get through that?
Well, you know what? I always think that what is meant for me will come to me. So everything that is meant for you will come to you. And when you have that mindset of abundance, you just keep getting more. And look, I've had situations where, I've introduced um, someone that was a client of mine. I introduced her to someone and she ended up coaching with that client. You know what? Good. That's a good fit for her. Good for her. You know what? At first, I have to admit, I was a little like, oh, she's not coaching with me anymore. I introduced her to this coach and now she's coaching with her. Well, guess what? I got 3 other clients that were perfect match for me that worked out better for me. And so I always remind myself of that, what is meant for you will come to you. And when you have that mindset of abundance and, not scarcity, I think whatever you focus on, you get more of. So if you're focusing on the good, the more good, you just keep getting more good things in your life. And so I really think mindset is key on how you look at situations. Being smart about things, but also just having that mindset of abundance.
Love it. Love it. All right. I'm going to jump over to Miss Rebecca. I kind of know what her superpower is. We're new friends, but I follow her and watch everything she's doing. And so for me, I believe obviously her big superpower is confidence, but more importantly, the confidence that she instills in the people around her. And she's always giving in a setting of abundance of people and praise and support. Every time I've been on here, she's always afterwards like, you slayed it, you crushed it, that was great, I love this nugget, let's have more conversation. So I think her superpower is confidence, but I really think it's more empowerment. But I'll let her tell you what she thinks her superpower is. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kendra, Amberly, Brock. Thank you guys so much for having me on today. I'm coming in from Utah. It is 6:26 in the morning, and there's no place that I'd rather be than with you guys this morning. And Kendra, I would say my superpower is confidence, but it's helping others find that within themselves because I truly believe that the Lord gave me like a spirit of discernment where I'm able to see and to feel and to get a sense for what people really want to talk about. And you know, maybe that's the hairdresser in me. You know, I like to say that I've been helping people professionally either find or build their self-confidence, whether it's on a personal level, whether it is in one of their 8 areas of life, whether it is in a business idea, whether it is in an invention, a product development. For the past 19 years, my microphone today just looks a little bit different than it did when I started. I used to hold a blow dryer and a round brush. But as a hairstylist, you get to touch people, and when you touch people, you build that trust. And when you build that trust, you eventually invite them to start sharing their truth. And when they see me and they start telling their big ideas to me, and I'm like, okay, you should talk to A, B, and C, much like Amberly. Who can I connect you with? And really getting over yourself, because I think a lot of times we all have great big ideas and we tell them to the wrong people. And when we tell them to the wrong people, those ideas get squashed. Those dreams get squashed. And I think for me, because of my childhood injury, at a very early age. And so for those of you who don't know what that is, when I was in 3rd grade, I fell off of my bicycle and I was in physical therapy, rehabbing the surgery that I had to have. And so this was a time where they didn't really know that in joint surgeries, you should begin physical therapy immediately. So I spent 8 weeks of my 3rd grade life in a fiberglass cast from butt cheek to ankle bone. So when I got out of the cast, it was like stiff as a board. So physical therapy was a very painful process for me. And I would scream, like I would get knots in my stomach. I was down to like 30 something pounds in the 3rd grade. And I was like, this hurts way too much. I don't even want to go. And then the doctors gave me Valium and codeine to deal with the pain because they thought that I was making it up. So one day the physical therapist took it too far and she actually cracked my femur in half. And so this is in 3rd grade. Okay. And so from a very early age, I think I've always learned that you can't push me too far and you can't push others too far either. You always have to meet people where they are. And I think that that has been one of the biggest foundations of building confidence in others for me, because I love to meet people where they are, whether they're scared, whether they're fired up, whether they're mad, whether they're angry, whether they're happy, they're elated, whatever it is. I like to meet people where they are, and I like to reignite the way that they think and the way that they go through life. Because if we could see ourselves through God's eyes and what he created us to be and the life of abundance that he called us all to live, there would be no competition. There would be no discourse. We would be so confident in walking in our lane that we wouldn't be affected by other people. So I would say my superpower is helping others see the confidence that they already have in themselves that maybe someone else has buried.
I love it. So I'm going to do a quick follow-up for that to you, Miss Rebecca. So for someone who's really struggling with confidence, maybe a lot of us are salespeople, right? So we've been reaching out to clients, being rejected. We think we've perfected our script. We feel like we have a lot of value to bring to somebody, but we're just not getting any wins right now. And we're feeling a little kicked in the teeth. What's 1 or 2 things that I can do quickly to flip that mind script to get back out there? Because confidence, you know, it's a daily grind for me. Let's be honest. We are judged, we are compared, we are broken humans, and it's very easy for us to put ourselves down and stay there too long, right? So I'm always, and that happens to all of us. I'm speaking out already this morning. So for me, if what's one or two things that I can say, hey, how do I shift that mindset really quick and get back out there, since I really do know my worth and I do know my value and I do believe in myself? Can you help us with one or two things if somebody on this call is really struggling with that today?
Absolutely. And great question, because every single one of us, whether you're in real estate or not, there are things that we do in life where we just don't want to pick up that phone one more time. We just don't want to have another conversation. And so, one thing that we need to do, the very first thing is recognize that you're feeling either intimidated, give whatever that feeling is a name. And so you're like, I'm feeling intimidated. I'm feeling scared. I'm feeling rejected. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling useless, worthless, whatever that thing is that you're saying. Recognize that you're feeling that way. Give yourself permission to actually feel what's going on. Don't hide from that feeling. Then number two, go and find a mirror, even if you need to turn your phone on and put it in selfie mode. And you say to yourself, I want you to call yourself by your name. And I want you to say, today, my name is Rebecca Black. And today I am creating confidence in my ability to make one more call, to have that conversation, to take another email, whatever it is that you need to do. Because whenever you look at yourself in the mirror and you call yourself by your name, you actually biohack and you pattern interrupt your nervous system. So when you recognize, so because what I teach is based on science. And so when you stop abandoning yourself and you actually recognize what your nervous system is doing and you give it a name, you sit in it just for a few minutes, take deep breaths if you need to. And then whenever you call yourself by name and you're physically looking at yourself, you are rewiring the neural pathways in your brain to disrupt that feeling of worthlessness, uselessness, not good enough, whatever that is. You actually interrupt that, but you've fully given yourself permission to feel that. So anybody, I don't care what it is, whether it's a whether it's a sales related thing or if it is just a tough conversation, do those two things. Don't ghost yourself. And then look at yourself in the mirror, call yourself by name, and say, today I am creating confidence in whatever that thing is.
I love that. I love that. So interrupt the patterns. We all hear these things all the time about patterns. The words that we put in, put in this. I say what goes in the well comes up in the bucket, right? So if I'm putting good positive energy and words to myself, hey, I'm a slayer today, I'm going to go slay this call, or I look great today, I'm ready for the big appointment, or whatever we're putting in is what's coming out. So I love that. Just flip the script on yourself. Thank you for sharing that. So I'll give you guys a quick scenario of my superpower. I am just the systems queen. That's just who I am. And I'll tell you where that comes from really quickly, is living in chaos for the better part of my business. When I started, when I got my license in 1997, nobody handed me a book that said, make this many calls, time block your schedule, prospect every day, have a checklist for this. It was just chaos, right? And so when I was stepping out of real estate into coaching, I was like, who better to teach organizational chaos than me? Because I lived in it for so long. I about lost my marriage. I lost my health. I became super unhealthy. I owed the IRS a lot of money. And so I was like, you know what? If I can turn the ship around and I can figure out systems to manage all these things that are being thrown at me, then who better than to teach that to other people? So the big joke is my team always says, you have a system even to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, I do. And I will share this funny story with you all. I was doing a talk in Denver about 3 weeks ago. And I told this story. I said, I even have a system to go to the bathroom, and everybody chuckled. And somebody raised their hand and said, well, what is it? And I said, as a lady, the first thing I do when I walk in the stall, especially in a public restroom, is make sure there's toilet paper. Ladies, do you feel me? Right? And so I said, that everything's just a system for me. That's how my brain processes it. So afterwards, I'm signing books, and this girl comes up and she's cackling. I mean, loud, like just having a big old party with herself. And I looked at her, I said, what is happening? And she goes, I have adopted your new bathroom system. And there's people standing everywhere. She said, I went into the bathroom and didn't use your checklist. And I found myself with no toilet paper. And the whole room just erupted. And it was hilarious. But it's just the truth. When we just put everything in a system or structure mindset, there's no guesswork. So if you woke up this morning, you're like, I don't really know what I'm going to do today. I don't know who I'm going to call. Fix that with a system. Time block your schedule, print that schedule, have your call list ready, have a checklist at the end of the day with all of that information that you collected on these calls. When is that going to go in your CRM? So you have that the next time you call these people. So who better for me to coach than people who live in chaos, right? And so I just feel like my superpower is I can identify an issue with somebody, I can create a checklist, I can train them on the checklist, hold them accountable. And once it's adopted for 90 days, I'm out and I'm on to the next person who has chaos. So whether it's around money, prospecting time, or whatever, that's really what I do. So I would say that's my superpower. So if you need systems, slow down long enough to create it and adopt it. And that way you eliminate some of those chaoses in your business. Okay. So
Kendra, can I just say something really quick about you?
Oh, yes.
What I think that allows because of your amazing systems that you've created, I think it also, I just have to say, you're always ready. So when you have these systems in place, you're just always ready. So like even on the spot, I'm like, yeah, can you speak? You're like, you're ready because you have all these systems in place. You're so organized. And so that's so inspiring for us to have systems in place and take the chaos out of our life. You're amazing.
Thank you. Yes, Brock, be prepared. When my kid was growing up, we'd ride to school and there was XM radio for kids. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, but there were all these fun stories and songs. And one of them was be prepared, always have a spare. And I just remember that in my head, all those years of, flying my kid to school down the interstate, not having a system. So, all right. So let's talk about Nashville. That's where I am right now, Music City. How many of you have been to Nashville? Before, yes. Okay. So country music capital is what it's really known for, but truly it's a mecca of medical. There's a great medical contingency here. There's a pretty good financial contingencies, not as big as Charlotte, obviously, since that's the financial hub. But if you didn't know, Brock's bringing the road show to Nashville and my hometown. So I'm super excited about that. I didn't grow up here, but it's my hometown. I've been here since I was 18. So who's coming to Nashville with us? I'm going to be here. Who else is coming to Nashville? Okay, good. Well, Rebecca, should we get in Brock's pocketbook this morning? Should we make him give us some discount tickets or something before we get these people off of here?
Before we get into that, I want to go back to the be prepared thing that you said there. So yesterday we were on a hike and we're in Zion National Park, and I've was walking out on this hike with a guided tour. And so our tour guide was like, I'm looking for resurrection moss. And I'm thinking like that it's going to be like this little tumbleweed thing, like, and someone had given me something called like the Rose of Jericho, where it's completely dry and then you soak it in water overnight and then it turns into this big, beautiful fern. So that's what I'm thinking that the resurrection moss is. And I could genuinely care less if I see the resurrection moss because I'm looking at all these beautiful rock formations. But we finally found some resurrection moss. And this resurrection moss, as I learned about it, it is black, it's dried up, it is stuck to the rock, and it looks like dirt. You don't even know that it is actually moss. But she poured just a little bit of water on this moss, and within 30 seconds, it turned green. And it became this little sponge on the side of the rock. And within about 30 more seconds, 2 flies. And I haven't seen a fly the entire time I've been here in Utah. Okay, I've seen a lot of allergy and a lot of tissues because we got lots of drainage going on out here. But I have not seen any flies. Okay. And so these 2 flies immediately flew onto this little area in the middle of freaking Zion National Park and started drinking the water from that moss. And so that moss is probably a lot like us in all of our seasons. And I say this because when opportunities present themselves, like the opportunity to go to a conference, the opportunity to level up your game, the opportunity to be in a room or in a conversation with someone who has achieved something that you may be aspiring to achieve, or someone who has done something that that you want to do, or maybe they know more than you. You have to be ready. That moss just sits there. It is dead, it is dried up, and it just waits for its chance to turn green and to provide nourishment for other things around it. And whenever we pour ourselves into those opportunities to become green and to grow and to flourish, and that we can take back and we can give back to our community, I think that we should really, really consider that. And that's one thing that I'm super excited about for Nashville, and I'm hoping, Kendra
Yes.
and Amberly, I am hoping that Brock is going to give us like some kind of Black Friday special in September. Brock,
The black moss.
the Black Moss special.
Yeah,
Are we getting the resurrection moss? Are we resurrecting this? What's happening?
The resurrection moss. Of course,
Yeah.
Rebecca, you come up with this story.
Yes. Well, okay. So it's super affordable. I don't know about you guys, but I've been to way, way more expensive places and conferences. So, Brock, what about, I don't know, how about like, I don't know, let's do 50. Can we do 50% off a VIP ticket today? Don't fall out of your
50
chair.
or
Wait, he's like,
15?
wait. He's like,
Did you
wait,
say
wait.
50 or 15?
How about
What?
50?
Yeah,
Well,
50.
let's
Let's
go big.
resurrect it. Let's
Let's
make
go
it green,
big or go
baby.
home.
Make it green.
Make it green. Yeah. 50% on what's the VIP or general admission, did you say?
No, let's do VIP today. If they sign up today in this hour before 9 o'clock, will you give them 50% off? Who would buy a ticket today at 50% off if you could get it?
So $250.
VIP?
You guys
Let's
are
go.
really I'm gonna have to find some more sponsors now. 250. Okay, for 1 hour. I'll do it for 1 hour today. Jay, I don't know if Jay even has a code for this or not, but you'd have to use a code. I don't know what it would be, but 50% off. Okay, for 1 hour, VIP gets you Wednesday night party, Thursday night party, your food and breakfast Thursday and Friday, and lunch on Thursday. So you pretty much are gonna be fed, have drinks, and for 2.5 days. Damn. Okay.
Fit in your
That's
pocket
a
this morning.
deal.
My gosh.
That's
better-
amazing.
Let's go.
All right,
I'm
Jay, you're
Nashville.
gonna
Let's
have to
go.
put the link in the ticket. There,
Oh,
okay.
wait, we got it. Who's grabbing it? You better grab it right now, you guys.
We got
Oh,
Rosario.
you late. This is what
Sherry,
happens when this is what happens
Justine.
when these women get involved here. It gets
I
a
know,
little
right?
crazy.
Hey, ladies, how many of you love a good deal? Yeah,
Yeah.
good deal. So 50% off is a pretty good deal. You got an hour to take advantage of it. Get your ticket. I don't know what the goal is for the people in the room, but if we keep giving great discounts, it'll be sold out quick, and he's not going to do this very often. So you guys better jump on it today.
Yeah. How many seats do you even have available, Brock?
So we sold in Key West, we sold 27 tickets that day. We sold an additional 13. So we're maxed at
Mhm.
150.
Oh,
So we, as you know, when you sell tickets, majority of the people, like once you get a deal or something else, it just like, and then we can only hold 150 in the room all. So our venue only holds 150. So we are maxed out at that, and we haven't even started to market in Tennessee. So it's been pretty amazing to see the energy that we have with everybody. And guys, we have 17 speakers for this event. So we have 17 speakers, 2.5 days, a panel. It's driving me crazy already, and it's not even January. So it's been pretty entertaining. But I will honor that deal because I just know the value that comes from it. I've seen it firsthand, and amazing people like you all today with your superpowers. What a great question, by the way, Kendra. What a great question. How many of you like that question? Put a 5. I gotta put a 5 in the chat if you like that question. Put a 5 in the chat if you like that question today.
Hey, Brock, Nicole asked in the chat, I haven't done my research. Where will this be held at in Nashville?
Very good question on that. Jim, who is my partner working with me in Nashville, I don't know the name offhand, but I will mass email everybody that's on here, and I will tell you the venue of what that looks like for you, so that way you know. I mean, it's literally like probably 15 minutes from the airport, is right there in Nashville. We had to have a special venue because we have so many breakout rooms. So we're doing breakout rooms in the afternoon. So I'll get that information over to you.
Perfect.
Anybody else have any questions? Live events change lives. That's right,
You do.
Justine. Live events change lives. Tim Story's coming. Not Tim, Tim Story. He's coming too. So we got him. We got really an amazing lineup all for this. I've been very blessed for everybody sharing and these speakers traveling all across the country. So it definitely is life changing. Kendra, anything you want to close us out with, Rebecca or Amberly, before we go and before you guys increase these sale tickets?
Go get your ticket today while you can. Number 2, meet us in Nashville. It's going to be amazing. Super excited. And my challenge for you today is go figure out what your superpower is.
I was just going to say that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Simplify what your superpower is. I'm, the director of organizational chaos. So that's really mine. Amberly's a people connector. Rebecca is empowering women and men to find their confidence. So we have ours honed in, and I would challenge you today to know what it is. So that's can be part of your elevation speech, right? When you get in an elevator and somebody says, "Hey, what do?" You're like, superpower. That will come to mind and be something quick that you can pass off to somebody. So go be amazing today. Brock, thank you for this platform. Thank you for the discount, letting us get in your pocketbook. I will see you guys in January, if not before. Y'all have a great day. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, all. We'll see you guys later. Anybody in Mooresville, come next week in 2 weeks. Rebecca's coming. If you're coming in Mooresville, DM me. Let me know. I'll get you the tickets. She's going to be here. Can't wait to see her. Thanks, Amberly. Thanks,
Thank
Rebecca.
you.
Bye,
Thank you
y'all.
all. Appreciate you. See ya.